Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to show all of my completed pages and some pending whips in my Mythographic books. And if that is of interest to you, please stay tuned. Now you might be wondering on the layout, honestly, I think this might make an interesting thumbnail, so there's that. And I do have 6 of what I think is 9 Mythographic books. I don't have animals, I don't have paradise, and I don't have wanderlust. Now I've seen some beautiful pictures from all 3 of those, but as of right now, I'm cool with my collection. Now you guys know I've impulse shopping issues, so that may change, but it's just not on my radar right now, and there's certainly more than enough pictures in here for me to tie me over. And so I will start with the books that have the least amount of pictures completed, and then we'll end the video with the books that have the most amount of pictures completed. So let's get started. Okay, the first one is Dream Garden by Fabiana Attanasio. I did get this in May of last year. I do have 1 completed page, and this was a buddy color with Poet. You're going to hear that particular phrase a lot in this. Poet and I both really love our Mythographic books. And for me, my Mythographic books are generally alcohol marker work. Sometimes, I think very minimally, I've done some pencil work. I don't know that I've tried Inktense or watercolor pencils, and so I might need to look into that. But I look at these as sort of manga comic book style, so I do like the crisp starkness where there isn't a lot of shading. I do love my color palette. The one that Poet did was absolutely exquisite. She's a very talented colorist. And then this one... Okay, I'm like, I don't know why I colored this because I do not gravitate towards flamingos. Flamingos freak me out. And if you're here from Happy Planner World, you know that I have a problem with them because of the side-eye nonsense. They always look like they're judging me. But this was a finding color that I didn't get to finish. It was for Olga Rani's monthly challenge, and I actually don't do as much for the monthly as I do for the weekly for some reason. And this is a double whammy for me. Now I like the composition, and I'll probably go ahead and finish this up sometime in life, but it has flamingos, which I do not like, and it has water, which I'm not a fan of coloring, and yet I do like the look of the picture. So yeah, so those are the only 2 that I've colored from this one. But of the Mythographics, I think this is one of the ones that I do lean towards only because the pictures do seem to be a little bigger. And some of the other ones, some of the pictures are just so minute and detailed. Because I like alcohol marker, it just might be difficult to do. I love them all, but yeah, there is that. So that is Dream Garden by Fabiana Attanasio. The next one is Imagine, also purchased or received in April. And I only have 1 in here. I don't know why I seem so surprised. I mean, I'm the one doing the coloring, but I only have 1 in here. And this is, you guessed it, another buddy color with my friend Poet. And this was also a finding color for Olga. It was Performance. This one, the images, again, not too small, not too big, so it is going to be easier to color. I love Mythographics. Well, I know why I don't color in as much as these, because I get obsessed with something else and I just go to it. But I've been a little obsessed with Mythographics, and so I definitely want to color more. Some of these I've actually taken to work because I can start on pictures there. But that is Imagine by, Joseph Contenbong. And of the art styles, because of those little hidden objects, I do prefer his. Now this is one of my newer ones. This is Joseph Contenbong's Wild Winter. I do have 1 completed page in here, and I am not a fan of it. This is a buddy color, you guessed it, with Poet. And I had an idea in my head, but I I don't know how I thought I was going to execute it. And I think probably what was the clincher is the jellyfish and the background are too similar in color, because I did want these to be pink. So for the sky, I perhaps should have done either orange or blue. So maybe that's where it went wrong, but it went wrong for me. And then I tried to fix it by doing something else, and then that looked horrible. And then I tried to fix it by doing something else, and that looked horrible. It's a completed page, and there are elements that I absolutely love, but yeah, it's not what I had in my mind. So it's a little bit of a disappointment, but it doesn't make me necessarily unhappy. So because of that, then I started this. Now, when I do my completed pages, because this isn't done yet, but it's only the 29th of January, so I still have a few more days, this actually has a story on why I chose the picture and why I chose the colors I did, but that is something you'll see in my January completed pages. And then I do have some things marked for my hashtag coloring the year of the tiger 2022. I can do this page, so yay, that makes me happy. And then the other one marked is the narwhal bridge page, and this is a pending buddy color with my girl Poet. And we just have a laundry list of buddy colors that we do, and then we just pick and choose from them, and like, hey, I did this, hey, I did this, hey, I did this. And it's just easier for us to do that because I believe she's very similar to me, where we're mood hobbyists, colorists, whatever, where I definitely will prioritize my buddy colors, but with her I have a little bit more flexibility because we just have a lot longer list. That's Mythographic Wild Winter by Joseph Contenbong. Now this is another one that I repurchased because I actually had this, gave it away, and then purchased it again. I did finish one picture and I absolutely love this one. I will talk a little bit more in my completed pages. I don't know how I'm going to schedule those out, so this might get shown before that one, but when I do my completed pages, I'll actually talk about this and give you the 411. Oh my God, these sound so old. And then this is the other buddy color immediately thereafter with Poet. This was a buddy color with Poet. We have a lot of buddy colors, but I love this. This is probably one of my top 3 completed mythographic pictures, and it's in colors that I normally don't do because I don't lean towards purples. But I was totally channeling my inner Poet because she loves purple. But yep, that's Enchanted Castles by Fabiana Attanasio, another mythographic book. Now this one I've shown you before, but it's part of the series, so I'm going to show you again. This is Joseph Contenbong's Odyssey, and I have quite a few completed in here. This is the first page that I colored. This is not the first book that I owned, but this is what made me not intimidated by this book. And around this time, I also just decided I'm not going to be intimidated by anything that I owned. I'm not going to be scared to color in something that I've spent money on. Now, I know that some of my books will probably, well, no, let's back that up. I don't know that any of my books will ever be finished. I know that I don't need any of my books to ever be finished. But I'm not going to be scared of grabbing a book from my bookshelf because it's just too precious to me and I'm worried that it's going to be ruined. And when I show you one of the pages, you'll see I've totally just fully leaned into that. But I also love just flipping through my coloring books, colored or not, just because I love the artwork. So for me personally, all of my coloring books are working coloring books. I do want to get into them. They are not purchased just to have them. I don't have the space for that. Some of you might be laughing at that, but I don't. So all of them do have at least one picture completed. And it's my personal goal, because I've gotten over my whole issue with whips. They're going to get done or not. But it is my personal goal to have at least one completed page in every single book that I own, because if I don't, then we're going to need to rethink if I actually want to keep it in my collection. Anyway, that was a tangent you weren't expecting. So there is this first page. I should take these off. And so this was a, what? Buddy color with Poet. I will link her in the description box, and from her page you should be able to find her Instagram page, because she's really great at posting on Instagram. Me, not so much. This is probably number one, my favorite picture that I've done in Mythographic, but probably top 5 of all the favorite pictures that I've done ever. Now, I did rediscover coloring in January 2021. The vast majority of these pictures are from 2021, but I did complete that one in Enchanted Castles as well as the one in Wild Winter this year. Doesn't matter to you, I wanted to show you this does span several months. This one I'm also very proud of just because I was able to get something metallic-ish off of the armor. It's not a picture that I would have chosen, but this was a finding color for Olga Rani, and so it pushed me out of my boundaries. So I like that. I love Olga Rani's weekly and monthly challenges because of that very fact. I think probably half of the pictures I've colored this year is because of her. So thank you, Olga. I do have this one, and I mentioned this when I talked about my favorite artist, or perhaps my favorite books. I don't know, it's all a blur, but I like this one. I think I could have done, or I should have done something different to make these two elements stand out, but not fight with each other. But honestly, I don't know how I could have done that. I suppose the only other way I could have done that is this snake would have been in a contrasting color by way of maybe orange or pink so that you'd see the focus of her, but that would also stand out. I don't know. But I also don't regret this. It's done. She's cute. There's a snake. What else do you want? And then there's this one right here. This one also I'm very fond of. I do love just color blocking things. As you can see, I don't do a ton of shading. I know that there are people who do pencil work in these books, and I applaud you, but my hand, my arm would just fall off. So marker work is how I do it, and I can live vicariously through all the people who do pencil work in here, but no, I could not do that. But that is Odyssey Mythographic by Joseph Contenbang. And the final book that I have is Fabiana Attanasio's Frozen Fantasies. Now, I have quite a few done in here, but this is not one of my favorites. So I've realized over time, I don't like coloring birds or bugs. I don't like coloring water. I don't like coloring snow. So you can see how, because of that, some of these can be problematic for me. But also, I've done quite a bit in here. So apparently I get over myself. But yeah, those are just not elements that I'm like, ooh, birds and bugs and bees and water and snow. Oh my, like, ugh, just black it out. So one of the pictures I've done is this one, and she is a fabulous drag dragon because this was for a couple of things. One of my hashtags last year, Joanna Lynn Celebration 2021, which was for my birthday. Yeah, because I completed this in July, and she had just gone to the nail salon after a whole bunch of time in lockdown, and she's like, yes, look it. And then for Olga Rani, this counted towards strange creatures because, I mean, yes, look it. And this is one of the pictures, because I had done one of Kirby's pictures. This element I kind of made go away by just getting rid of the black lines. So you can still see it, sort of, but it also is not a feature. She definitely is a feature in this picture. This one here, a very simple straight color. I did this at work, and so this is either Mondo Llama alcohol markers or Sharpies, because those are the only alcohol markers at the time that I have. I do like to put when I start and finish a picture on the page so I don't have loose things, but I didn't write down what it was. But again, this one has been at work, so I know what I've used. This one actually I'm quite happy with. I love how he came out. Again, the picture, the composition, it's interesting, but it also doesn't make sense. I mean, why are the buildings underneath there? Is that oil? What's going on? But whatever. Snowflakes, I am more than likely to use a yellow highlighter because then it's easy. It kind of pops, no fuss, no muss, whatever. You see there's a bunch of water on here. You see that recurring theme. And whatever I used here, again, Mondo Llama or Sharpie, oh no, it was this, the black, but it was yellowed. Now that's not a problem for me. Am I going to color these otters? Probably not, because that's just endless snow or water or both. So yeah, no thank you. This one is actually a tester page, and this will never be completed because these moth things freak me out. Although I saw a picture of someone who did this recently and it was absolutely gorgeous. But on one side, this side here, is some satin glazing medium. On this side is not. These are the same alcohol markers, but they do behave differently. So, again, I was just testing things out because this was never going to be a page that I was going to color. If you do satin glazing medium, your alcohol markers will not bleed. As you can see, it did there. But at least the way that I coated it, I think it would completely tear up your nib. So I don't know that I would recommend it. But I did coat this with a foam brush and it was actually rather thick. So maybe that's on me. But yeah, I liked the idea of using alcohol markers on satin glazing medium until I actually did the test. This is a whip, and I don't know that I'm going to finish it. Now, I know what I was thinking, although I didn't write down when I started this. But I was thinking, oh, I want to be like some of my friends in the coloring book community and just do a page of pencil. And then I started, I'm like, oh my God, I hate my life so much right now. Why did I think I could be that girl? I'm never that girl. And I'm not even that good at being that girl. And so I did have these pencils kind of stored differently because there's like 3 or 4 pencils that I've used to get that. I'm like, no, I don't know if I want to do this. And it's probably for one of Olga's things, because again, it's not a composition that I would actually lean towards, but I think it had to do with summer or maybe sweets, because those are the 2 things that I'm getting from this image. But yeah, it's in there, and that's maybe perpetually how it's going to stay. This one here I did, Danny Buttons had tagged me in a scavenger hunt last year, and one of the prompts was whale. Usually for scavenger hunts, I just look for the picture. I don't actually have any desire to color them, but this one was actually pretty straightforward. Once I just blued everything out, and I don't know if I just don't like the color blue and that's why I don't like coloring water. This one wasn't that bad. It was done during lunch breaks at work, and so I didn't have to have a lot of colors to deal with. I don't know if you can see it, but some of the hidden object elements that are just driving me crazy with these pages, I just made it recede. So here is a cordless drill. Part of it I did with the dark blue. Anything touching the whale, I just left it as is. So you can still see it if you're looking for it, but it's not as obnoxious as if I had colored it as a thing, because I'm never going to do that. But I don't white out because that's more work. I'm not about that life. This one here I need to keep the marker in here because I haven't shown this one. I finished this month. Again, I didn't write that down here, but I was totally inspired by Debbie of Color Me Stress Free, because she did a page in one of her Kirby books where she blacked out the surfers, and that kind of opened up things for me because I'm not a huge fan of octopus, birds, bugs, bees. And so more often than not, you're going to see me do this where I just black it out. And then it becomes like shadow things. And I think that's interesting. It was a really time consuming to kind of make these look like ice by whiting out the black lines. I had intended to put a glitter gel pen on here. And then I was like, nah, I'm over this page. I'm done. I've got other things I can color. Why waste any more time? So that's that picture here. I do want to show you this completed page before I show you the last page that I'll I have in this book. And this one, I don't know why I chose it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, not very interesting, but it's done. Now, do you ever have those days where you just feel like coloring something ugly? And I'm not saying you choose a picture in your vast arsenal of coloring books that you think is ugly. No, I'm talking you take your talent, your skill, your time, your energy, and you purposely make something ugly. Yeah, me neither. And yet this still happened. Now you see it here? That's how all of this looked before this nonsense. So it was light gray rocks and blue on the top, because I don't know why. This entire page is light blue on the top and gray rocks. There's no other elements on this page. I'm like, okay, I had all of that down, all of it colored in that light gray and the blue. I'm like, oh, that's boring. I don't want to do that. So I started up here in the corners by putting some darker gray. Well, no, I want it to kind of go away. I want to kind of focus your eyes going that way, right? Because she's cute. She's not done. She's another one that I need to finish before the end of the month. But yeah, let's have her go down this path. Let's kind of force her way down this way. And then I put even a darker gray, because I do have in my mandalamas, I like 3 levels of grays. Didn't like that, so I put some black down. I'm like, oh my god, that's a train wreck. So I don't know if you can see it, but I had like this curtain action going on here. I'm like, that's ridiculous. What's exactly going on with this nonsense? And then I kind of made it like it's a cave, but it's sheer, so you can see all the nonsense behind. So I'm like, well, if it's sheer and it's more like a curtain, a veil to the unknown, trying to make this more palatable than it actually is, then make some lines. This is a horrible picture. It's so bad. It makes me smile because it's so bad. She's going to be cute because I'm going to do a little bit more with her. Put some glitter on her, make her fire, just burned all the nonsense of this page, and I'm going to call it done. But it's so bad. And there was thought. I was using the wrong tense. There definitely was thought. But like that jellyfish page, the execution was just like, okay, well, we're doing this now. And I do have that problem, even in my planner or my journals, where I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Just add more stuff. Just keep doing more stuff to it. It can't get worse. And then it does. In hindsight, perhaps this should not be the last picture that you see of me. We all know I'm not that girl. You're not going to see... Well, no, I'm not going to ding myself. You saw some really great pages. You saw some really mediocre pages, but they're done. And there's that. All right, guys. Well, this is Mythographic Frozen Fantasies. This is all of my completed pages and whips in my Mythographic books. I will be doing this for all of my different series of books sometime in life, so just be on the lookout for that. All right, guys. Well, that's it for me for now. And as always, aloha.